Hi, I'm Jim, and today we're at the Deanery project to prune some feral apple trees. In our region, there's a lot of apple trees that you see around that have gone wild. They might have been planted 100 years ago or any time over the last 100 years, or they might just be from some seeds that the birds may have dropped, and the trees grow up, and even if they've been maintained for a while, if they're left to themselves, they'll just grow crazy and become unproductive. Most modern apples that grow, if they're unmaintained for many years, will become too dense and not enough light and air getting into the tree, so the fruit will become smaller and maybe tasteless and not really worth harvesting. So a little bit of pruning on the trees can open that up. Most people are timid about pruning their apple trees because they've heard that if you do a bad job, you can do more harm than good. But with a few simple ideas and guidelines, you can overcome that risk and fear. One of the first considerations for pruning your apple trees is the timing of your pruning. You want to prune the trees when they're in their dormant phase, which is when they don't have any leaves on them, and ideally do it after the worst of the winter weather, so that any dieback or injury that might have happened through the winter has already occurred. Also, by pruning your trees late in the season, you have an opportunity to take advantage of the growth of the tree to help seal up the wounds that you create. When I approach a tree, I try to look at it with a 3-year perspective. Like, where do I want that tree to be in 3 years, and to try to prune toward that objective, but not to do too much in any one year. If you prune more than 25% of the canopy off in any one year, the tree will react badly, and you may end up with more of a mess than when you started. But if you trim somewhat more lightly over a period of time, you can achieve your desired goal. After we visualize how the tree is going to look, we first begin by removing any dead or diseased wood. And then we start to remove parts of the tree where they're too dense and there's not enough light penetration, where there might be crossed and rubbing branches or excessive density. We typically thin out the middle of the tree to increase the amount of light and air that are in the area of the tree where the fruit is. There's 2 kinds of main cuts that we do in order to control the shape and form of the tree, and those are called heading cuts and thinning cuts. In a heading cut, we'll cut the branch midway down on the stem, right above a node where there will be buds that grow. This will encourage the buds to break in the spring, and the tree will grow in several directions at that point. Then we can take some of those and direct them in the direction that we want them to grow. Thinning cuts are where we take the entire branch down to the base of that particular branch. It could be a branch the size of my finger or even a branch a foot across, but we'll thin the entire branch out down to near the branch that it grows off of, and that will allow us to open up the center of the tree or parts of the tree in order to get more light into the tree. If we're going to do a thinning cut on a branch that's larger than maybe 6 or 7 centimeters, we'll want to do it in a 3-step cut, where we'll cut the tree about a foot away from where it connects into the main tree. We'll cut from the bottom, maybe a third or halfway up through the branch. And then just outside of that cut, we'll make the cut all the way through the branch to remove the heaviest part of the limb. Then we'll go back and cut off the stub that we left. The reason we do this is because we don't want the branch, as it's falling off the tree, to rip the bark on the healthy part of the tree, because that will cause serious injury and an opportunity for bugs and insects to get into the tree. So this is just a short introduction to how you will approach a tree for pruning. For more information about pruning trees, you may check out one of the courses at the Deanery Project, or check out their website at thedeaneryproject.com, and then you'll be on your way.